In the hills above Florence in Bagno, Ripoli, American artist Jessica Russo Scherr works out of her light-filled home studio, creating paintings, collages, and mixed media work. Her work is about personal experiences and the relationship between people, environment, and objects, and what better place for her to explore this than Florence?
I worked as an artist and an art teacher in the States for a long time, and I would take my students to Florence, Rome, Florence, Venice, San Gimignano for three weeks every summer. And I kept on telling my students, one day I'm going to disappear and you'll find me in Florence. And then a few years later I did it. I disappeared and ended up in Florence. And it was a combination of always wanting to be here and finding a job at the International School of Florence teaching art, which was just a dream of mine. My work is generally somewhat representational. I work a lot with portraits and figurative work, but it's not solely that. About almost 10 years ago, I was in a car accident and I couldn't lift a paintbrush to paint. There was just too much pain. And as some personal physical therapy, I started a very large collage because I could just put one piece up and one piece down, up, down. And it became something that I really felt very passionate about this work. And so now I do a lot more collages, mostly figurative and portraits. My subjects tend to be people I know quite well, but not always limited to them. Originally, Florence inspired me because I wanted to live here, because I wanted to see whether Florence changed after being a resident versus a tourist. Whether walking past the Duomo every day or seeing the statue in Lanza di Lanzi would change and get repetitive. And it hasn't. It just continues to be a constant source of inspiration. The inspiration has even grown, being more part of the community, expanding my horizons past the center of Florence and throughout Tuscany has been a great source of inspiration. Every day waking up and riding my bike from Bagno, Ripoli up to Piazzale Michelangelo to the International School of Florence where I work, I'm just amazed by the atmosphere, the feeling of the city, the vibe that it gets, the texture of everything that's around me. There's so much diversity. It's a little big city. There is in Florence, but Tuscany is right there, and I ride my bike a lot, and within a few minutes you could be out in the countryside and seeing scenes that are from every postcard ever printed, and then another second you're waiting online at a museum seeing priceless works of art that people save up a lifetime to go on vacation to see. I have two small children, and I love the fact that they love being in the city. They love walking into a random church just to see what's in there and find out the stories of the characters in the paintings. Moving to a new place is never easy because you have to reestablish roots and then build connections and relationships. We have some wonderful friends here, and they are always there whenever we need them. And it's wonderful to have that kind of connection to Italy that's not just to the architecture and the art and the surroundings, but having a human connection.